Kia ora and welcome to Nutrition Chats. My name is Therese. I'm the nutritionist at Harbour Sport. Today we're covering salt and why we need to think about it for our health. Why do we use salt? In the first instance, it's used to enhance flavour, and a little goes a long way to bring out other, more subtle flavours in a dish. Secondly, it is used as a preserver for meat, vegetables and fish, as it has antiseptic properties, meaning that bacteria that can cause spoiling or even food poisoning are less likely to take up residence and grow. And finally, but probably most importantly, sodium, which is one part of what we know as table salt, has lots of really important roles in our bodies. It has a role in making our muscles contract, including our heart muscle to pump blood. It helps to move fluid around, and it's needed in various chemical processes in the body. The body tightly controls how much sodium there is and balances it out with other minerals like potassium, as well as having very clever ways to dilute and get rid of the sodium if there is too much. There are some instances where a little more might be appropriate, and this includes strenuous exercise, when a person may be sweating a lot and needs to replace the sodium and other electrolytes to help the body balance what it has lost. For most of us, exercise under 60 minutes, even if it's intense, needs no more than plain water and your usual snack to keep our body in check. If exercise is harder and goes on for longer, and it's warm or humid weather, we may need to have some supplements of electrolytes, and that's usually what sports drinks are designed for. Another occasion is a condition that causes a person to faint a lot due to low blood pressure. More salt in the diet plus medication and more water can help with this, but it's closely monitored by a doctor and dietitian. A third reason where more sodium may be appropriate is if a person has problems with severe edema or swelling from water retention. Higher sodium can help move the extra fluid out of the body, but again, this is something to discuss with a doctor, not to be tried on your own. So what are the concerns about sodium in our health? Firstly, too much can contribute to dehydration and all its associated problems with thirst, foggy thinking, tiredness, thickening blood, and overheating. Too much salt over a long period of time also puts strain on our bodies by increasing the amount of fluid that passes through the vessels and kidneys. The kidney is trying to dilute the amount of salt, and because sodium draws water out of the cells to dilute it, it has a lot more fluid flow through the vessels. This can damage the kidneys as they work hard to try and filter the fluid and get rid of the extra sodium. The extra fluid can also lead to pressure buildup in the blood vessels as they have to move a greater volume of fluid around. The walls of the blood vessels can become stiff, which makes it harder to have the blood flow through them easily, and this in turn puts greater pressure on the heart to try and keep the blood moving around the body. This is what we know as hypertension, high blood pressure. So how much is okay? Because sodium is the ingredient we're concerned about, there are maximum amounts recommended. Table salt is made of both sodium and chloride, but on a packet it might be listed as salt or sodium. We look at the sodium amount if it's there. The amount of sodium recommended for adults is a maximum of 2,300 milligrams over the whole day from all food sources. But for better health, we're advised to limit it to 1,600 milligrams per day. And this is about equal to a little less than 1 teaspoon of table salt. Most of us are eating closer to 1.5 or more teaspoons of salt per day. Many people think that salt is only added when they're cooking or for taste at the table, but it's hiding in lots of different foods. Some of the obvious ones are foods that do taste salty, like potato chips, crackers, and other snacks. But it's also in most baked goods, including bread, pastry, cakes, and muffins. We find it in sauces, including some of the sweet ones, like tomato and sweet chili sauce. We find it in stock, soups, gravy, and sauce mixes. It's also in tinned vegetables, fish, and meat as a preserving agent. And something we really need to think about for our children is that it's very high in things like cheese spreads with crackers, it's in nut butters, and it's really high in processed deli meats like ham. So how do we have less salt? We might think that taking the salt out will make our food bland and boring and just not have much appeal. But our taste buds renew themselves every couple of weeks, so it's possible to get used to new tastes. Start by using other things to bring up the flavour in food. Choose herbs, spices, garlic, onion, and citrus to boost the flavour of dishes you're cooking. The second thing we can do is make sure you drain off the salty liquid, the brine, from tinned and canned foods, and rinse them with fresh water if you can. Lastly, try to limit putting the salt shaker on the table so that you can reduce the number of times that you add it to your food. Some other tips include choose low sodium options by looking at the nutrition information panel under the 100 grams or 100 ml column. Low sodium is considered less than 120 milligrams of sodium per 100 grams of the food. Drink plenty of water. This helps your body keep on top of regulating the amount of sodium in the body and to keep flushing it out. And most importantly, eat plenty of vegetables and fruit, as they are high in potassium, which counteracts the effects of sodium and balances things out. We should be eating a ratio of 1 part sodium to 3 parts potassium, but for many of us, it looks more like 1 part to 1 part. Here are some interesting things to know. Unprocessed salts, such as Himalayan salt or rock salt, may have trace amounts of other minerals, but they're not better for you in terms of sodium. Sodium is sodium no matter where it comes from, and it still has the same effect on the body. The second thing to know is that iodine is a very crucial element in our diet to make our thyroid work properly and for brain development, especially for infants. In New Zealand, there is not enough iodine in our soil to get into the food we grow and then eat. So it was decided many years ago to add iodine to salt, as that was an ingredient in everybody's diet, and although only a little is needed, it is very crucial. Now we have iodized salt, which is also added in breads and baked goods and cereals that we buy. It's really important to know if you choose other types of salt to check it has iodine in it, or eat bread or cereals where it's been included. Other sources of iodine include seafood, seaweed, kelp, and eggs. Pregnant women are offered an iodine supplement during pregnancy in New Zealand because it is so vital for a baby's brain development, and the food sources are simply not enough to meet the need. This is an excellent resource that we use at Harbour Sport, both in our work and personally. The Healthy Food Guide is written by nutritionists, dietitians, and other health experts following the most up-to-date research and guidelines. It has fantastic search features, meaning you can choose recipes and make shopping lists based on what you have available or special dietary requirements or other needs. It also has really sound and easy to read articles about all sorts of health questions and different stages and challenges in life. If you're interested in purchasing the subscription for a discounted price, please get in touch with us at Harbour Sport or find it in our online shop on the Harbour Sport website. Thanks for watching this presentation. If you have any questions, please get in touch with us at Harbour Sport.